Hey guys, Shawn Ray here for Generation Iron, and we're going to be talking a little bit about comebacks. Because when we think about comebacks, we think about former great athletes coming back after a period of time off to try to perform and achieve what they once did in their prime. Well, one of the most notable comebacks as it relates to bodybuilding, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He won his last Mr. Olympia in 1975, took 5 years off to do some movies and some promotions, and of course he came back in 1980 in Australia, where many people were very disappointed at the comeback and the victory. However, nobody remembers who took second place. And by the way, that would be Chris Dickerson, who's all of 5'5" and maybe 180 pounds dripping wet in 1980. And so while it might have been controversial for Arnold to win the contest, there was no way in hell that Chris Dickerson was going to beat him on that day. And of course, Mike Mincer was very vocal about that comeback, and Mike Mincer wound up way down in 5th place, so he was never a threat to the title. More recently, Kevin Levrone, the Maryland Muscle Machine, at 52 years old, came out of retirement after some 15 years off and wound up pretty much falling flat on the stage of the Mr. Olympia, if you want to be frank, in 2016. And of course, a lot of people were very admirable. They were fired up and motivated about the comeback of Kevin Levrone. Not only did he finish the race, he looked very good by himself. However, this was the Mr. Olympia, competing against guys half his age, much more muscle, much more fuller. He just didn't stand a chance. And of course, more recently, we saw the comeback of the fabulous one, Flex Wheeler. Came back out of retirement after some 13 years off, had the kidney problem and the kidney transplant, and decided to come down into the Classic Physique, which is bodybuilding light. And of course, he looked nothing like he did in his prime. Flex Wheeler, arguably one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, could have had a Mr. Olympia title or two, but coming back in the Classic Physique, he couldn't crack the top 10 at some 52 years of age. Kevin Levrone thought maybe an extra year would give him the time to pack on the size in those legs, which are notoriously Father Time wins. It just takes away the size. Well, of course, this past year in Australia, Kevin Levrone came back, and once again, he just was not the bodybuilder at 53 and a half years old as he was back when he was competing in his prime in the early 2000s. So some 18 years later and 2 years of coming back, Kevin Levrone still could not match the comeback that he had anticipated. Now, that's not to take anything away from the idea and the concept of making a comeback, but could you imagine Marcus Allen coming back to play football after some 10 years away as a running back? You're going to lose a step. And not only are you going to lose a step, you're probably not going to have the same type of muscle reaction, you're not going to have the same type of speed, and you're not going to be able to absorb the blows in professional football. Well, bodybuilding, much the same. The years of wear and tear, the aging process, Father Time will win every time, and we have yet to see a successful comeback on a bodybuilding stage to the degree that Arnold Schwarzenegger did back in 1980 when he won his 7th and final Mr. Olympia. So should comebacks be ruled out? Should these bodybuilders stay away from making comebacks? I'm not going to say yes, but I will say that we need to lower the expectation, because in this day and age of social media with posting old pictures of what once was when we were in our glory, it just sends the wrong message to the fan that's so hungry for success, a successful comeback, because it's just not going to happen when you're trying to fight Father Time. He will win every single time. So the next bodybuilder out there that wants to make a comeback, come back, maybe make a guest posing appearance. Come back and maybe not compete at the highest level. Maybe start out, lower the bar just a little bit, because no one besides Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Arnold was very young when he made his comeback, no one has made a successful comeback in bodybuilding. We're still waiting for that opportunity. I'm not sure who's going to be next, but the one thing you can best believe, it won't be me. For Generation Iron, I'm Shawn Ray.